Hello and welcome to Odd Sock Comics. This is my new comic book day haul for March 6th, 2019. And this was a pretty heavy reading haul. A lot of books to read this week, and I'll show you all the different ones that I got. But first up I have my pick of the week, which was Doomsday Clock number 9. Now, Doomsday Clock has been coming out on a really slow and irregular schedule, and I know that a lot of people have complained about that, and it probably has hurt sales. But it has been a pretty good story along the way, and on top of being a good story, I think that what everyone was hoping for finally happened in issue 9, and that is bringing Dr. Manhattan in to either fight against or fight with the DC Universe heroes. And so that's what happened this issue. It is what you hoped for, it is what you expected, throwing everything they've got at Dr. Manhattan and seeing what comes of it. Definitely a fun book to read. You've got Dr. Manhattan being Dr. Manhattan, much like he's always been, standing there, blue, naked, interesting, asking weird questions and being depressed. So, exactly what I hoped for. Very happy to have read this one. All right, next up, I have Batman number 66. Now, this one was a continuation of the Nightmare scenario. Now, for the last couple issues, so it's been about a month since the last Nightmare book came out. But this one, there was that hiatus where they were going through the Heroes in Crisis tie-in. But they're back. This is a Tom King book, and it definitely followed the character analysis that Tom King seems to like to do. It is interesting, and it works with Batman, even though there's not a lot of action in this book. It really is interesting. It's Batman being a detective inside his own mind, trying to understand what's going on with him. And it's a very creative way to approach the Batman character. And it's addressing some of the weaknesses that kind of popped up with Batman in some earlier issues that maybe made the relationship with Catwoman not really a good thing. So it's kind of resolving some of that, hopefully. I think that we are all hoping that he fixes himself, becomes a big hero, and gets to marry Catwoman and be the hero, resolves the issues that he has there. So the Catwoman isn't, completing him, but, he's fully engaged in that relationship and not leaning on it as a crutch. That's my hope. That's what I hope to see out of this gigantic arc. Because it's Tom King, and because he seems to write like everyone in the world is depressed, there's a good chance that's not going to be what it is. But I can tell you right now, that's what I'm hoping for. All right. Next up, I have Immortal Hulk number 14. Now, this one was a good one as well. This is kind of a new story. The Hulk's out of hell, and there was a lot of very subtle kind of horror themes to the art that I really liked. It's pieced together really well. The storytelling is extremely good. Now, there's a lot of backstory-ish stuff where they're referencing things that have happened before that didn't quite make sense to me just because I don't have the full background. I think that stuff is really cool. I understand that there's this gigantic mythos that they're pulling from to create these stories. I don't have all of that backstory. I know it's there, and I know that if I wanted to go dig deep and understand, I could. But I haven't done that. I don't have time. I'm continuing on with the stories moving forward, and as it makes sense or as things come up, I'll go read back issues. But I do think that it's obviously good writing. They're obviously digging into a really fun and important character and a really deep character. So this one was a lot of fun, and they don't treat it lightly at all. People get hurt. This isn't all the hero wins every time. So very interesting. I like that one a lot. All right, next up I have Conan number 4. Now, this is the first Conan that has not been my pick of the week. The first 3 were excellent. This one, very good. It's just that I really liked Doomsday Clock. Now, Conan, this number 4 is starting a new storyline. It was a good, kind of interesting look at Conan as a character. Kind of treats him a lot like Batman. He puts on a mask and goes out to fight crime in his city way back in the day, and he's got his sidekick that's a pet that he's got a big cool relationship with. Very cool development. I did like it a lot. It just wasn't quite quite as good as I was really excited to get to Doomsday Clock. So this was probably my number 2 for reading story. Excellent story. Loving Conan right now. All right, next up, and I pulled this one out of the bag so that I can show you the interior because this book is amazing. This is Green Lantern number 5. And I don't understand the Green Lantern storyline, the back history very much, and this references it a lot. Apparently he's got a lot of will, right? I guess, willpower. And that's an ongoing comment in this whole story. I don't know a lot of that, so this is kind of like these other books that are pulling from a whole bunch of information that you can look into in 50, 80 years of comic books. I don't have that, so I have to take the story as it is, and it's good and interesting, but I'm just kind of starting to understand the Green Lantern character. But what is absolutely amazing about this book is the interior art. So Liam Sharp did the interior art, and he showed some of the pencil work that he did for this, and it was absolutely amazing. All of this little detail in the back, I saw the pencil work that he did, and he's drawing all of that detail. It's not copied, it's not flat, it is all created out of his imagination. You got some crazy stuff like this going on. I mean, this was just fun to look at all over the place. So really liked reading that for the art. And, it's one, what is this, 5 issues in? Didn't know if I was going to touch it, and I'm looking forward to number 6. I will continue to read this book. Very happy with it. All right. Next up, I have one book that I bought just for the cover, and that is Harley Quinn number, let's see, this is 59? Yes. Harley Quinn 59, and this is the Chew variant, and this is his third variant cover to come out in the last few weeks. A couple weeks ago it was Batgirl, and then before that it was Harley Quinn again. And these are they're just candy. They may not be your style. They may be too, in your face and stuff, but I just really like them. Don't like the character too much. Don't care about the story, but I just think it's fun for, the few dollars that you spend on a book. That one's going to be fun to just stick in the folder and pull out, and maybe I'll hang up a few Derek Chews here and there in my office when I'm switching things up and around. Okay, so that's it for books that came out this week. I have one other that came in the mail. This is an Indiegogo book. I did a review on my last video just about this book in detail. I loved this book. This was an amazing book. It's an Indiegogo Comicscape book. Very well done. Cool story, cool characters. Hope it comes out in a more traditional format because it's a little too expensive the way that it's coming out now. But this one is definitely worth a read. Hard to get a hold of if you didn't back it on Indiegogo. But I'm sure, I really hope that they move forward with that one. Okay, and then I got some back issues. And this one was pretty fun. So this is Knights of the Golden Sun. And this is issue 1. This is a Virgin variant that apparently is limited to, I want to say 750. And then I got 2, 3, and 4. And this book was not quite what I expected. I had no idea going into it. I knew that this would be something that if I didn't like it, I could probably get my money back. It seems to be still going for a decent price on eBay. Not like it's a big flip to turn around and make money or anything like that. But if I don't care for the story, I'll probably be okay getting my money back. But I actually did really like the story. It kind of follows a little bit of a biblical. It's very biblical. Probably more than some people would like, but kind of cool story. Very action packed. It's these archangels that are, so you get a lot of this with the angels popping out, and if the art style, it's not really my art style. The story is very. I'm trying to think of. I used a word in my head and I can't remember it now. But it's kind of, it's set in like 300 BC. It's setting up for through David of the Bible, his lineage, and how they're interacting with the archangels. It's supposed to have a total of 7 books in the series. I've got the first 4. I will continue and pick up the last 3 to figure out how this all ties up. But I did really enjoy the book. I enjoyed reading it. I think it's a fun one to have. They've been pretty hard to get a hold of. The reason that I was able to get them is because my shop didn't get them when they first came out. They got one order from Mad Cave Comics sometime in the middle of last week, and so they weren't on the shelves on New Comic Book Day, and so the people who normally go hunting for these kinds of things weren't in there, but they put them on the back issue shelf today. So I was able to pick up, all of the issues, including the limited variant first cover. So that felt pretty lucky to me. Like I said, story's good. Happy to read it. I'm still trying to decide exactly what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to hold on to them and pick up the last 3. This is a series that's probably not going to go anywhere. I wouldn't put any speculation on this. It's not the kind of story that gets turned into a movie or anything like that. So it's probably not going to be worth money down the line. But if I think I would consider reading it again, it's probably worth having in my personal collection. So that's what I've got to think about is, am I going to read this again, or is this going to just take up space in a box? That's the real question. So it was good. Not amazing, but good. And I'm curious to know what you guys think. There may be some things that I'm missing on this one. So this is my haul for the week. Like I said, pretty good mix, a lot of stuff to read. I did read all 4 of the Knights of the Golden Sun today. The only book I didn't read today, Lone Star, which I read earlier this week, and then Harley Quinn. I'm not going to open that up at all. But like I said, all of these books were good reads, fun to read, and definitely liked Doomsday Clock. But that's my haul for the week. I've got some big news coming up. I picked up the first book on my 2019 comic book goals. That should be arriving here in the next few days. I'll definitely do a video on that. I'm very excited. That's probably the next thing I'll do. And I'm going to be gone for the next couple of weeks probably, but I'll still do some update videos as they show up. I'm going to be out of the country, so I might see if there's any comic books in the other country that I'm going to. I don't know how the international comic book world looks, but we'll see. So like the video, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what you got. If there's something that I missed that I should try to find, always like to hear that. So again, this is my new Comic Book Day haul, and thanks for watching.